All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, today we are absolutely cutting through the hype. We're moving past all the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, and, those isolated AI parlor tricks you constantly see shared online. Instead, our goal today is completely focused on the builder's blueprint. We're going to look at exactly how to build a fully orchestrated, production-ready ecosystem using Google's AI tools. I want you to kind of picture yourself as the protagonist on a developer's journey right now. You are standing before this massive, incredibly powerful toolkit. And the big question you need to answer is, are you ready to move from just basic AI awareness to actual hands-on ecosystem fluency? Because we're about to unbox this entire toolkit together, block by block, so you can actually start building something real. So here's our syllabus and blueprint for today. We'll hit 1, the AI lesson architecture, 2, assess your baseline, 3, the Google AI toolbox, 4, managing AI risk, and finally 5, the capstone prototype. It's a highly logical progression to assemble your knowledge. Section 1, the AI lesson architecture. Okay, let's dive into this. Our blueprint follows a very specific step-by-step teaching pattern. It's this modular 6-step flow. We define the concept, demonstrate it in action, practice it, verify your understanding, connect it to your specific role, and then finally, capture the next learning action. This structure is here so you're not just passively absorbing stuff, but you're actively integrating this knowledge into your actual day-to-day work.
Section 2, assess your baseline.
Okay, before you write a single line of code or build a single workflow, we have to establish a rock-solid conceptual foundation. So I'm going to challenge you directly right now. Mentally score yourself from a 1, meaning, no familiarity at all, to a 5, meaning you could confidently teach this to a colleague. Do you know the exact difference between AI and machine learning? How about automation versus augmentation? Could you explain what LLMs are or the difference between deterministic and probabilistic systems? What about artificial narrow intelligence versus general or super intelligence? Taking just a second for this self-assessment proves the immediate value of our foundation. Find your gaps right now because we are absolutely about to fill them.
Section 3, the Google AI toolbox. Let's move to and see how this builds. We are learning these tools as a completely connected system, okay? Not as a bunch of isolated, unrelated demos. We're tracing the flow starting from raw research grounding all the way to a user-facing app capstone. Adopting this 101 mindset is absolutely crucial. Literally, everything here is interconnected. So first out of the box is NotebookLM. This is your absolute foundation for research. It's a grounded research and synthesis tool. If you've ever struggled with reading through just painfully dense technical documents, well, this solves that problem completely. Because by utilizing only the exact PDFs, docs, and URLs that you upload, it severely reduces the risk of open-ended hallucinations. Basically, it only knows what you teach it.
Practically speaking, here's a micro-narrative of how you'd actually apply it. Imagine building a research notebook where you upload a super complex technical architecture topic. You then ask NotebookLM to summarize the main themes and any open questions. You can even generate an audio overview to literally listen to a synthesized discussion of the material. And the absolute best part, you can trace every single claim it makes right back to your uploaded source material. I mean, it's a total game changer for building study guides.
Right, now let's quickly distinguish between Gemini and AI Studio. Gemini is the actual model ecosystem. It's the core intelligence powering the whole shebang. Google AI Studio, on the other hand, is the hands-on surface. It's where you go to actually do your testing. It's the place you manage API keys, test out those complex prompts, and really start building your early prototypes. For example, inside AI Studio, you could upload an entire hour-long video or even a massive operations manual and ask the model for a structured markdown timeline. The genuinely surprising thing you'll notice here is that multi-model input completely changes the kind of problems AI can support for you. But, and this is important, you have to remember, large context is only useful if you use incredibly disciplined instructions. A polished response still requires you to actually evaluate the evidence and do your source checking. Now let's unpack the creative tools in the box, Veo and Imagen. These are advanced media generation tools designed specifically for concept explanation, rapid prototyping, and storytelling. It's really important to frame these as visual explanation aids. They are powerful tools for communicating your ideas clearly, not, and I can't stress this enough, not tools meant for generating unsupported claims or faking reality. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact starter prompt formula you need to master these visual tools.
Cinematic tracking shot, 4K, medium close-up, dramatic lighting, realistic textures, artifact on a table. Notice how it follows a highly structured formula: subject plus setting, camera, motion, lighting, and texture. Using this precise language is exactly how you control the tool to get exactly the visual explanation you need. Finally, we reach the heavy lifters of the toolbox: Firebase Studio and GenKit. This is where the actual back-end orchestration and coding take place. Firebase Studio is your AI-native cloud workspace and agentic, browser-based development environment where you can easily preview and test changes. And GenKit? That's your production-ready AI orchestration framework. It manages all the real-world complexity: your inputs, structured JSON schemas, multi-step flows, and the crucial telemetry you need for debugging.
Section 4. Managing AI risk. Now, what's really interesting about this is that before we finalize our build and push anything live, we absolutely must install the necessary risk reduction guardrails. Safety first, right? We systematically break this down into 4 critical types of AI debt that you must manage. Technical debt asks the vital question: can your infrastructure and APIs actually support the use case? Data debt forces you to question if your source data is accurate and fit for purpose. Personnel debt looks at whether your team actually understands the workflow and the review burden. And security debt ensures privacy, prompt injection, and governance risks are strictly controlled. Look, you don't have to solve every single risk on day one, but you absolutely must know how to spot them.
Notice the huge contrast here. Instead of isolated, messy AI usage where people are just throwing prompts at a wall, we are aiming for an orchestrated 5-step ecosystem flow. We start with rigorous research grounding, move to prototyping prompts, build out our cloud workspace, orchestrate the back-end flows, and finally, we arrive at the user-facing app. This right here is the mature, structural way to build with AI. Section 5, the capstone prototype. I want to ask you directly, how do we synthesize all of this into one practical orchestrated prototype? Really focus your attention on this question, because answering it is the ultimate prize of our entire learning journey today. So, the crucial point is this final 3-step capstone flow, which truly demonstrates the incredible power of the interconnected Google AI ecosystem. Step 1, you load 20 or more complex PDFs into NotebookLM to establish your research base. Step 2, you use those summarized concepts to generate highly specific creative explainer assets with Veo or Imagine. Step 3, you build your app architecture, like a React or Flutter frontend in Firebase Studio, backed by GenKit. Just look at the incredible, tangible outputs you achieve by following this blueprint. You walk away with a highly reliable, source-grounded knowledge base. You have AI-generated creative assets that perfectly and safely explain your concepts. And you have a fully functional GenKit-backed web app prototype. You haven't just learned vocabulary today. You've built a complete, orchestrated system. Which leaves us with one final, provocative thought to end on. You now have the full architectural blueprint. You've officially moved from basic awareness to true ecosystem fluency. So I leave you with this. What specific workflow problem will you build the solution for first? The tools are all right in front of you. Now it's your turn to go build. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.